What is up, you beautiful, beautiful gamers, and welcome back to role-playing games. Tired of reviews from a dude telling you a random score without revealing parameters and leaving you feeling with, hey, here's a 10 out of 10 because I asked my boss and they said yes? Well, then you're right in the right place. Right in the right... In this review we'll be talking about the game, undressing it and showing it to you naked so that you can see all that it has and what it doesn't, what media prior to release doesn't tell you. And with that being said, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, with everybody out there covering and showcasing the game in the next generation of consoles, who will let Xbox One players and PS4 owners. What will they get? I got you, dude. Graphics are up first, and as an overall package they are quite beautiful, but they are not perfect at all. The textures and polygons, they are really soft and smooth, and there are some low res here and there, but you'll hardly notice them since Ivor camera angle management leaves little to no space to be focusing on zoom in textures. Foliage is exceptionally well managed, and along with the marvelous shadowing work that makes the game just look eye candy, man. Now what the game really shines is illumination handle. The color palette is just so goddamn varied, and the feeling and vibe you get in specific areas is pumped up by it. There are these times where you get the dark yet colored fog that you would see in, let's say, Gladiator movie, and there's some other times where the game looks washed out in Spartacus styles that just adds an extra layer to the feeling of the battle roaring around you. Now, while you are specifically focused on a biome that's pretty much dark medieval England, the level construction of the game has such a huge variety of places that you can visit, from swamps to plain fields to beautiful forests. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing to look at. And the draw distance has always been a place where the Assassin's Creed shine. They don't build levels focusing on a mix between the skybox and the models for the scenery in the distance. Everything feels handmade in the scenery you get by staring in the horizon. It's just a sight to behold. Now, Assassin's Creed Valhalla often makes you feel tiny, and that also adds to the verticality of the game. The Assassin's Creed games have always had a more verticality in exploration in most of the games than most of the games out there, but level design in Valhalla takes you to a whole new different level. Usually in open world games we're used to running on plain fields with trees and mountains in the distance. Here you get to explore valleys, hills, mountains that hide the next portion of the level in the horizon. The level of verticality in this game makes it look like it has been handcrafted and not made in a random world generator with assets tossed around to make the thing look cooler. Although, while speaking of verticality, Ivor won't always follow your commands while doing parkour and end up doing stuff that you didn't actually want to, and climbing in some of the highest mountains of the game can take you quite some time because climbing animations on them takes ages to go through. Now, like I mentioned before, not everything's perfect in here. Fire effects are still pretty much garbage. They really break the immersion of the siege when you're staring at the same fire effect building that you get by playing SNES Mortal Kombat. And the water, which has always been marvelous in the past Assassin's Creed games, well, it's beautiful as well, but at least in the version of the Xbox One and PS4 it looks like jelly because of the blurry and low resolution, which also affects the reflection of it. On the shores it's more noticeable, and it also looks like it has a downscale on the frames to compensate for everything that's going on around you. Performance wise it's quite solid, but not always. In Siege sometimes you'll get a painful 15 to 20 FPS, maybe that's how they feel, and in some cutscenes as well, which sucks because they are, well, you know, fucking cutscenes for your pagan mother's sakes, Ubisoft. And it has to be mentioned, dude. Bugs. Some of the most breaking things are the action button not responding, which can leave you without being able to progress in some areas, like me, who will never be able to fight this world boss because the action button is being a sassy cunt. You will also see the regular dudes moving around with the AI that really doesn't make sense, and this is going to happen quite often, so it's something to have in consideration as well. Now let's talk about the story, and listen, Assassin's Creed have been going downhill quite from time now. The beautiful part of these games is to be part of an historical accurate setting and just to be out there experiencing it. Now I believe that the story has had quite some problems because of the dumb decisions to trade the end of the world and Juno's arc storyline in novels and comics rather than, in the actual fucking games. The main focus in this game is the events in the kingdoms of England post-Dane invasions. You're one of the newcomers to these promised lands to make your claim among the other Viking heroes writing their sagas in history as well. And the assassin's plot, well, it's there, dude, in the background, like always. Assassins tell you that your enemies are also those who want to rule everything with fist and lash, leaving no place for free will. And it's like, alright, I'll help, why the fuck not? I mean, I'm already here, might as well kill the bastards. Now the writing for the main storyline is actually quite good, and there are some bonds with charismatic characters that actually make you feel attached to them as the story develops. Unfortunately, the game's trying to be a goddamn tragicomedy, and failed at that matter. It really has no place in here, and I'll tell you more about it since it's linked up with sound effect and voice acting.
Oh, you are so brave. A fine protector.
Tell me you're joking.
Please, you must fight for me. Who knows what lurks below? What vile people might come to harm me? I need a protector, stout and resolute. Please, stand guard below.
If I do, will you come out?
Oh, assuredly.
Now voice acting, at least for the main storyline, it's just gorgeous, dude. I can listen to Ivor all day long without getting tired of it, hashtag no homo. And his will and determination along with his incipient wisdom yet rash and young impetuous personality are just amazing, and sometimes I think of him like I would of Ciri in The Witcher 3. And there are some moments where both of these accents of these two characters sound similar, especially when poet Ivor appeals the language to be more than a beautiful hero that he/she already is. I mean, at times he is this beer drinking dude beating everybody and being this powerful Viking, and other times being a poet. He's just everything, dude. Ivor is just everything. It's the whole thing in one package. Now, unfortunately, side quests marked as mysteries are just, they are a ridiculous joke. The voice acting in 80% of the characters in side quests is just an overly exaggerated attempt to sound funny, going too far and making the thing just ridiculous. Most of these quests don't add anything interesting to the world other than a lame attempt of being a joke. They will have you do irrelevant stuff that doesn't really make them interesting or get you to know the world, like getting rid of an infestations of rats or to collecting eggs for an old lady that wants to fart.
I would regret this.
That nearly turned my insides out. Oh, I wish I could see the stir I've caused above.
My reward before I choke to death.
As we agreed. Well, have you nothing to say after such a forceful breaking of wind?
It blew me away.
That was actually quite funny, but most of them are just sad attempts to be funny by overly exaggerating voice acting. With voice acting of the main quest and the serious tone that they involve as well as in the writing, having this around really breaks the momentum of your playthrough in the main narrative of the game. Now soundtrack really shines in here. Having a chorus of melodic warriors while you go biking helps you get pumped up to keep smashing heads and breaking stuff in monasteries. And remaining silent while you explore the world, listening to the birds sing and the sound of your feet in the sand. Although animations on combat are quite off, hits don't always connect with your swing while the sound of the hit actually does, and it makes you feel this weird feeling at times when you're fighting. which leads us to gameplay and some of the mechanics. Now, the combat system since Origins has been a hit. It's simple, yet it has depthness. Most of the bosses in the game have unique playstyles and rune attacks, which are the new mechanics similar to what we see in Sekiro. Normal attacks can be parried, while rune attacks have to be dodged. There is a skill that you can get from the skill line that functions pretty much the same as in Sekiro. Dodge towards the enemy rune attack and you'll get a free window attack of opportunity. Yes, Assassin's Creed has been feeding from the Souls combat system since Origins, and while it's nowhere near to the level and challenge and depthness of it, it works and managed to keep the game interesting for a longer period of time. The stealth is highly improved. It's up to the player the approach that they want to take. There are some amazing abilities that allow you to take on multiple enemies at once, making stealth more rewarding, more approachable. Assassinate lonely wandering dudes and you'll get an adrenaline extra point to keep using your abilities to take down bigger and larger numbers of foes. If stuff goes wrong, summon a raid and end it quickly. The enemy fortress will fall to your Vikings. There are some minigames as well that you can play in the world, like playing a battleground with someone with dices and challenging someone to a beer fight. The most fun and rewarding for me though would be the rhyme battle, fleeting against specific NPCs in the world that also allow you to build charisma to be able to unlock new dialogue options in the main storyline. There is also this mechanic similar to the pawn system that we see in Dragon's Dogma, where you can create your own Viking to send to other players' world, and then you can recruit their Vikings to be part of your raiding crew. Now, skill tree can be quite invasive, but it's simpler than it looks. 3 branches will determine your overall passive bonuses and attacks, while mapped abilities that you get from exploring the world are free to use for anybody. Which leads us to the exploration, and at some degree Assassin's Creed Valhalla is better than the previous Assassin's Creed games, where the world was so big and side activities were so meaningless that they could burn out so fast by exploring just a few regions on the games. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla you get gear, resources, combat abilities by exploring the world. With the resources you can improve your settlement, that while there is not that much depthness in it, its simplistic approach makes it easy to enjoy and manage. Gear system is really awesome as well. Again, it takes a little bit from the Souls formula, where every single bit of equipment you get is something that you can use throughout the course of the game. You can improve weapons and gear once you find them, which will unlock new looks and appearances and rune slots, and you can keep them throughout the course of your entire playthrough based on how well it suits you as a player. Unfortunately, most of the armors that you get them like quite late game. You don't actually get to choose them in like early areas of the game, which really hurts the experience of being able to have them through the course of your playthrough. Each new market spot in the map leaves you wondering what will you get from it, although this can divide opinion as well. You have to understand that not everybody's a completionist, and having to explore every single corner in the world to get combat abilities to improve the gameplay can be quite problematic to some people, unless you're a cheeky bastard of a company that offers microtransactions to reveal abilities on the maps by paying some monedas. Oh, Ubi, you did it again, dude. Which leads us of course to the scummy practices that we all gamers hate. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla you can pay some rupees to unlock resources, gears, abilities, locations. Does this really impact the main game? Well, a bit, honestly. I picked up clean 4 complete regions throughout the course of my playthrough, recovering every single little chest and gold mark that I can find, and I still haven't been able to get enough resources to upgrade my shit. I'm a completionist, dude. Imagine this on someone that doesn't want to play through all of that. Alright, now you know everything that the game can offer to you and what can not offer to you. With my reviews I try to undress the game to show it to you naked so you can emit your very own judgment. If you're planning on getting the game, these reviews, I don't try to convince you to get the game or not, but help you know everything that you're paying for the game. If you ask for my opinion, this is a wait for a sale. You know, the game's amazing, and it's by no means a reskin of previous titles. It fixes some stuff and leaves other untouched, the ones that work. But there are some scummy approaches on the market, like always with Uncle Ubi. And some bugs, they are quite, they are there, dude. I mean, it's pretty much a meme by now. One of my main side bosses, like I mentioned previously on the review, it has been bugged for quite a while, and I haven't been able to kill him because the game just won't fucking let me, dude. Also, UV games tend to go on sales quite often, and with really good prices, not so long after release. With that being said, I hope that you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Remember, let me know in the comments below what you think about the game so far. And with that being said, I'll see you beautiful, beautiful gamers. Don't you ever forget that each and every single one of you watching RPJames are beautiful people. I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember to stay safe. Remember to stay awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome.